You can't ever find true love unless you truly love yourself. Is it true or is it false? Well, kind of both. So when I was younger and I was still in a dating pool, I would say that this sentence was very much self-destructive. And the reason for that is that I already believe that I am very much unlovable. And this sentence was just reaffirming this belief. And since I was really far away from loving myself, I believe that I'm just not destined for love. So if this was my experience, why would I still consider this statement to be both true and false? What I'm about to tell you does not come from some kind of research. It comes from my own personal experience and also from observing other people, so just for you to take it into account. And if you agree, disagree, or you simply just want to add something more, do so please in the comment section below. And now let's get started. The thing about self-love is that if you lack it, you tend to endure much worse treatment than people who actually love themselves. When I look at my younger self, the amount of mistreatment that I was able to take was just enormous. And even when I was mistreated, I was speaking so carefully to the person who mistreated me so I would not offend them. To me, them mistreating me meant that I am a failure, that I am a burden. I always thought that it's my fault and that I actually deserve the mistreatment, because that's how I viewed myself, because I really did not love myself. I was so far away from that. So that was kind of my stance towards it. But now, after years spent on healing myself, on self-love, of getting the relationship with myself better, if someone would mistreat me, step across my boundaries, be disrespectful, the goodbye that I would send them away with would be super quick. The thing is that if you have a very strong sense of self-love, your filter for people is much stronger. You're so much more selective with people that you surround yourself with, and you just don't tolerate mistreatment that much, or even at all. And that's the big difference and the big point of this video right there. When you don't love yourself, it does not mean that you won't meet someone who will love you, who will be so beautiful towards you, who will be just your soulmate, who you will create a beautiful relationship with. That doesn't mean at all. But what it does mean, in my opinion, is that you need to be more lucky. So let's say we have this woman, Annabelle, and she really loves herself. She has such a strong self of love, and she is in a dating pool and she's looking for her partner. She goes on dates and she has those guys, guy number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of them treat her so badly, but she really quickly realizes that and let them go, and she doesn't get bothered by them anymore. And why is that? Because she loves herself so much and has such a high self-worth that she simply does not tolerate this kind of behavior when someone mistreats her. So why be bothered with those 5 guys who are absolutely not good partners? She doesn't care. Like, okay, next one then. However, guy number 6 is the guy that she can actually build a beautiful relationship with. They vibe, they are best friends, they are just amazing together. And now if we imagine another woman, Bethany, she has the exactly same situation, right? There would be 5 guys that are absolutely horrible, and the 6th one is the guy that she would be very happy with. And this is all just like theoretical scenario, right? But she lands the first guy and she spends much more time with him. And why is that? Because even though he mistreats her, even though they are not quite vibing, even though he is just simply not good for her, she does not leave him. And why is that? Because she does not love herself so much. She does not feel like she's worthy enough. She feels like what he does to her, she deserves, because she is not lovable, she's not worthy of love, she's not worthy of good treatment. And the reason for that can stem from the past, right? How you were treated as a child, past relationships, there can be many different causes. The important thing is that because of her lack of self-love, she is able to withstand much harsher treatment. So she is the guy 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The sixth one is the good. But she gets stuck very long with the first one. And maybe then she doesn't want to tolerate it anymore because she realized something in herself and she goes on to the guy number 2. But again, she stays with him very, very long because she tolerates the mistreatment. So she does not send him away very, very quickly. And this scenario can apply for both men and women. However, what plays against women is the fact that we have biological clock, you know. A lot of women, they end up with the guy number 2, number 3, and then they get married, they settle, they have kids, you know, because they simply feel like they don't have enough time and they never get to the guy number 6. And that's the main difference right there. The lack of self-love doesn't prevent Bethany from finding true love because, for example, if she gets lucky and her guy is not guy number 6, but guy number 2, then after dating and breaking up with the first one, she lands the good one. However, we all know that dating is no certainty. You never know who you're gonna meet, who you're gonna go on a date with, and the guy could be very much further away in the line. But she will never find out because she gives chances to so many guys in front of the good guy because she simply does not value herself enough to go for something better, and she accepts the behavior that she receives. So what I would tell you here, if you lack self-love, it doesn't make it impossible for you to find a good partner, but it definitely makes it more challenging. But I am a very, very pure example that even when you begin with self-hatred and absolute disgust for yourself, that's where I was when I was younger. I felt absolutely unworthy. I felt so horrible about myself. I felt so unlovable, so undeserving of anything good. Yet still, with little by little, small steps over the years, I realized how lovable I actually am and how many good things I deserve and that I deserve to have truly loving partner. And yeah, now I'm in my best relationship ever. So, you know, it's definitely possible. So I'm gonna give you some tips for self-love, you know, to end it on like a action kind of note. Obviously, the tip I would give you is to go to therapy, but I know it's not accessible to everyone, so let's go over some different things. I remember what really, really changed something for me. It was this book called A World Without Complaint, I believe. And there was this challenge of not complaining maybe like a month in a row or so. But back then, I realized how badly I actually speak about myself out loud so many times. And the thing is, you can control what you say much easier than what you think. You know, your thoughts, you are thinking like how horrible you are, you deserve this, look at yourself. Like, I know those thoughts, right? But before you are able to handle the thoughts, the words are much easier to take notice of. So focus on that. Speak about yourself either in a neutral way or start implementing a little bit of self-compliment, you know? Just compliment yourself. That's super okay, but notice when you speak about yourself badly and accept compliments. That's another thing that you can try. What I was also really tapping into was finding out my values, my interests, what I was curious about, trying different things that I was very curious about as a kid and kind of treating myself in a better way. So eating healthier, getting more movement, but in like the loving way, not like, oh, I'm not enough, so I'm gonna go to the gym so I look better. No, from the point of view, I deserve this. This is for me, and this is for me to be a better version of me, but not out of place of self-hatred, out of place of self-love. So for example, if you do some healthy habits out of place of self-punishment because you are not enough, try to start to think about those habits from a place of love and not a place of I am not enough. That could be another thing, but exploring your values, what you're curious about, and giving yourself those small little things, small little experiences that you know would nourish your soul. It can be the smallest thing. if you love herbal teas, buy yourself some new herbal tea. And this is such a small thing, but if you compound small things over time, then you are over and over and over again showing yourself that you have value and that you matter with those small actions of self-love, just like you would do with a partner that you love very, very dearly. It's not always about the grand gestures and saying how much you love them and you know, like those big things. Sometimes, for example, if your partner had a bad day, you make them a cup of tea. So make yourself a cup of tea, and that's a small act of self-love towards yourself. And the last thing that I would recommend is to gentle parent yourself. The easiest thing that you can do with this is to actually go on social media. I would recommend TikTok for this because you have like a bunch of different videos, and you search for gentle parenting and you see how the parents handle the child and the way they speak to themselves. And it might feel kind of funky, you know, like kind of weird. You can definitely start using the lingo in like a meditation, you know, like you sit down, you feel very sad, and you kind of grab the thoughts from the perspective of a gentle parent. Maybe you can visualize yourself as the gentle parent, and you kind of change the way how you speak to yourself, because right now it's very harsh. But this helped me so much to gradually, little by little, go from very, very harsh self-talk to approaching myself with this self-compassion. And that's very important for self-love, to be compassionate towards yourself. And for example, letting your emotions flow, being there for yourself, not shaming yourself for feeling certain ways. And to close off this video, just as I said before, if you really, really don't love yourself, if you really even hate yourself, don't give up on hope. First of all, you can still meet someone who is such a beautiful soul and who you're gonna be the best friend with. I also entered this relationship that I am in not being full-on self-loving. I still had a lot of steps to do, but my partner actually helped me with it. And you can turn your life 360 around and you can become a completely different person when it comes to loving yourself. And if I could do it from the depths, how deep I was in the self-hatred, and now I genuinely love myself and I appreciate myself for who I am, you can do it as well. It's absolutely possible. I truly, truly believe that. So don't give up hope on yourself. Just because you had a rougher start doesn't mean that you will end up rougher. That will be it for today's video, and see you in the next one. Bye!